Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. LaVar Ball finds himself in the news again. Skip and Shannon react to the controversial comments from the outspoken self-proclaimed King of Chino Hills. Tim Tebow goes deep, and Skip says, "I told you so," and Shannon, well, he doesn't have much to say about the former Heisman Trophy winner. We welcome in our Fox Hoops expert, Jim Jackson, to break down if Russell Westbrook will set the all-time triple-double mark tonight in Phoenix. The Bleacher Report list of top 25 players under 25 is out, and Skip tells you why he's still taking Dak over Odell Beckham Jr. Finally, Kevin Durant will make his return tomorrow night for the Warriors. We all discuss what this will mean for the NBA playoffs. You wanted to start, Skip?
Joy, I want to apologize in advance for anything he might say to you today because, I'm just trying to defend you over here, so I just thought I'd preempt it.
So now you buttering up.
No, I'm just trying to be
Should I be worried?
Joy.
Maybe.
I just want to apologize for anything he might say. Boy, Skip Bayless.
Anything my friend Shannon
might say.
Okay.
Yesterday, LaVar Ball explained why he thinks his son Lonzo and UCLA lost to Kentucky in the Sweet 16. LaVar said Lonzo pulled his hamstring during the loss. Then he called out some of Lonzo's teammates specifically. LaVar said, realistically, you can't win no championship with 3 white guys because the foot speed is too slow. We're joined by Chris Carter. Chris, what's your reaction to LaVar's comments?
Well, this is the part, too, that's very disturbing. And the reason why he was on this show was not because of him. We didn't want his take on anything. It's the reason, it's his son and the other 2 potential prospects. But now, he just, the more he talks, the more he lets us inside what's really, really inside of his heart, all right? He wants to be a coach. He wants to micromanage their lives, and he has no clue as far as how business is run. And all he's doing is he ain't messing up his business because he ain't got no business. His business is his kids. So now how do I market the kids? And now when you start to get into racial things, which really don't make any sense, especially given the fact you're married to a white woman, which means you gave birth to 2 biracial kids.
3 boys.
Yeah, 3 boys, but each of one of them is biracial. So even if we want to get down to what he was talking about, them having 3 white guys, well, they got a half a white guy out there in his son.
I do.
Right.
Actually, 2 of those white guys have more points than his son, too.
Agreed.
So, but when you're talking about a brand and you're talking about being a global entity, when you talk about shoe sales, merchandise, like
Product placement.
Oh, you have no clue the type of damage. You ain't doing no clue to yourself because we ain't think that much of you no way. But all the damage you done to your son. This is one thing I learned from Denny Green, man. He taught me so many things. But he said, Chris, every athlete is in business for himself. He said, Chris, put your name and put ink on the end of it, and that's your business. That's your brand.
Yep.
You're going to control how much money you make, so control your image, because if not, your image will control your brand. And I always learned from that, and I always kept going on that. And the BBB, Big Ballers brand, like this ain't going nowhere without Caucasians buying T-shirts, hats, everything. Like
You got to cross over.
Like he's got no clue, and this is really how he feels. Like this is not going to be a retraction. Like we've met with him, we've talked to him. Like this is really the way he feels.
He hasn't retracted anything yet.
No, absolutely
He
not.
said he doesn't apologize for anything that he said.
And it's going to affect the kid's career. One, if he's going to be the agent.
No, they hired an agent.
All right. Well, thank God, because I didn't think he could pass that test, because there is a test that you have to become an agent. But it just presents more problems, and what it does, it muddies the water for his son, who's a great prospect, and he can't say anything. The reason why? Because that's his dad.
That's exactly right.
That's his dad, and his dad has put him in a position where he thinks he's getting drafted. We're not drafting you, and he's going to realize that through his run with his kids, I don't care, even if all kids make it to the NBA, as soon as they drop out the NBA, just like when Tim Duncan walked away, just like when Kobe walked away, they threw the ball out there and they still keep playing.
They do.
This game and the game of sports is way bigger than you. So I think that he's made some vital mistakes. Are these things that are correctable? This is not the kid saying them. This is the dad.
Yeah,
but it's going to affect the kid,
Yes.
and it's going to affect the kid's business.
Because here's the thing, though, CC. What black athlete, entertainer, can become successful without the opposite race loving them? You think Denzel's a global star just because only black people go to his movies? How about this here? Michael Jordan, I guarantee you, more white American, Asian Americans buy those Jordan shoes.
No, Republicans. That was his thing. Republicans buy sneakers too.
Yes. So why would you put, first of all, you put Lonzo in a very, very uncomfortable situation because Lonzo has the utmost respect. His dad is old school. My grandfather was old school. And even if when my grandfather was wrong, his sons, his daughters would never correct him because that was not to be tolerated. And that's the way LaVar has raised his kids. They're not going to question him, even though they know he's wrong. Sometimes, LaVar knows he's wrong, but he's so prideful, he won't take this back because I don't apologize for anything. Bruh, even if you felt that way, it's okay to keep that to yourself. You don't have to say that because he had those 3 white teammates when they went to Rupp and they beat Kentucky. But what happened was, CC, you can't run with my boy. Kentucky, you trying to run with my boy with them 3 shooters, you got no chance. Well, not only did they run with your boy, the guy that your boy was guarding cooked him. 39.
De'Aaron Fox.
Now he's in the lottery.
Yes.
Now he's in the lottery out for that performance.
Yep.
I just don't get what he was trying to accomplish with this.
And they interviewed him afterwards. And I know Coach Cal. And Coach Cal put De'Aaron to the challenge based on what the dad said. The kid ain't said nothing. But Coach Cal said, I want to see. This kid's supposed to be the first pick in the draft. And he put De'Aaron to the test. And De'Aaron dropped 39 on him.
Normally when people write checks, they have money in the bank to cover it. He writing checks that Lonzo got to cover it. CC, that's forgery.
Yeah.
You can't sign your name to a check and you ain't got no money in the bank.
Forget about what we think today. What do y'all think about what Under Armour thinks? What do you think about Phil Knight, what he's talking about today?
Well,
because we don't even matter. They matter.
Well, Phil Knight said we love to talk to Lonzo. There ain't gonna be no $1 billion.
By the way, quick point to your point about crossover.
Yeah.
A majority of rap, hip-hop music is bought by white kids.
Yeah.
Right?
They know more words to Future, 2 Chainz,
You got it.
Jeezy.
So I'm going to say this again. I keep trying and trying to like LaVar because I do like him when we have him here. I can't help but like him.
Yes.
And I want to love the potential and future of his number 1 son because I think he raised him right in a lot of good ways.
Yes.
But LaVar keeps making it harder and harder and impossibly harder to defend him because I can't. And what disappoints me the most is I love the way he taught those kids how to win, how to believe in themselves. And I've told you before, I wish I'd had a father like LaVar, just helping me believe in everything that I do instead of one that's trying to tear me down at every turn. And yet, he's not teaching any of the 3 kids how to lose because you have to learn that just as well or you're going to fail. And in this case, he keeps making excuses by blaming others for their playoff flameouts. And all 3 of them had a playoff flameout. The 2 younger kids lost in the regional semifinal. They didn't even get to the state tournament in Sacramento. They lost in the regional when they were heavily favored to Bishop Montgomery. And what happened? LaVar turned right around and blamed the coach and said he should be fired. The coach should be fired. And then, of course, now we got the slow-footed white teammates being blamed. But moreover, this is one that really sticks in my craw. LaVar suddenly comes up with breaking news. My son popped a hamstring against Kentucky. He did. Well, you guys well know, and trust me, I know. If you so much as tweak your hamstring, especially if you pull it or tear it, Joyce certainly knows this, you are done. You're going to look limpy and you're going to look gimpy. You're going to be dragging that leg all over the floor. You're going to be wincing and grimacing. And all I know, speaking of slow-footed, was Lonzo looked really slow-footed because he could not stay in front of De'Aaron Fox from the tip. From the tip, he got cooked for 39 points. And again, LaVar keeps saying he's better than Steph Curry. So he's writing checks LaVar can't cash either because once LaVar looks foolish that all 3 of his kids flamed out, he's got to blame somebody. he's trying to protect himself more than his kids. And he's saying, well, they're not going anywhere with 3 white kids. Well, again, there's always some truth to what LaVar says. History would tell you that's, you can do the numbers, and that would be pretty true, especially at the pro level. It would be very true. In college, there have been exceptions to the rule. Yeah. We talked about this. The 2010 Duke team, I won't name all of them, but they had 6. Their 6 key contributors were all white. And the Wisconsin team that knocked off the undefeated Coach Cal team, it had 4 contributors who were not black. Yes. I'm throwing Bronson Kane again, who's Native American, but the other 3, Kaminsky and obviously Decker and Gosser, they're white. So it happens. Going back to the Leitner Hurley teams, they were the two of the key contributors were white. So in college it can happen. And I got to defend TJ Leaf because I got to tell you, he's one and done, man.
Yes.
He's going to be a lottery pick. So if you're going to have a white teammate, he's a pretty good one to have, I would say. And to your point, he outplayed Lonzo twice against Kentucky because he was the star of the game in Lexington on December 3rd, which was a Saturday afternoon national TV game. He went 17, 13, and 5 assists. That was pretty great. And Lonzo combined against Kentucky shot 3 for 14 from the 3-point line. That's not very great.
So what's the check that he wrote? He said when Lonzo arrived, UCLA will win the national championship. He said my son, my boy, will be the best player in college. Well, neither of those things happened. Now I got to give you a reason why they didn't happen. It's so, bruh, I promise you, no matter how great you are, you're not going to win every single time. We saw UConn women, 111. On any given night, Skip, CC, you know this, you can be beat.
That's why we play.
But if you want to blame, how do you blame the 3, but you excuse your son's play? If you're going to say, hey, they didn't play well, how about give Kentucky? Maybe it wasn't what you didn't do. Maybe it was what Kentucky did do. How about give them some credit? Tonight just wasn't our night. We had a great run. We didn't go as far. It didn't end how we wanted it. But to say, well, if my son didn't have these 3 slow-footed white guys, the same ones that went to Rupp Arena,
right,
and beat Kentucky with.
And by the way, the third one of those white guys just happens to be the coach's son, who's a 3-year starter, who shot 43% from the 3-point line, one of the better shooters in college basketball. I'm not saying he's going to be a great pro because he's probably not, but it's not a bad teammate to have. And now you put the next son in an awkward position.
Lagello.
Yeah, I don't like what he's teaching the kids. And this is something we talk about what we've learned from our parents.
Yes.
But also our parents grew up in different eras.
Absolutely.
Our parents are human. They made a lot of mistakes. There's a lot of things my mom, in raising 7 kids in a single-parent home, 7 kids by the time she was 25. There was things that she was, her background was formed different. And she taught me things about white people that when I grew up, they weren't necessarily true.
Right.
And I try to make sure that in growing up and learning, I try to let people have a real experience and not be partial to how a certain group of people grew up and everything. And I just think it's very, very important what we put into our kids. And things that you say, they go into your kid's ear. And his kids shouldn't believe that. Now, his AAU team, does he have any white kids on his team? Because he is a coach.
Yeah.
All right? I'm a coach. So he's saying now he ain't going to coach no white kids? So his kids are going to play AAU basketball. They're going to play with all black kids. And that's really the way, that's what you're going to teach them to do. Yes. And see, so there's some things that are bigger than basketball for me in trying to get these young boys to grow up in a world that's already tough enough.
How about this? Raising your kids is one thing. Teaching your kids is something entirely different.
Yep.
How about teach them how to do things the right way and don't skirt responsibility?
Well, LaVar has not apologized for anything yet, so we'll see if he comes out with one.
Come on, LaVar.
This.
Me and Skip coming over for breakfast, getting them pancakes, the French toast, sausage biscuit. Cece, you coming?
No mercy. Let's talk Tim Tebow. Tebow hit a 2-run home run in his first career minor league at-bat yesterday with the Class A Columbia Fireflies. Tebow went 1 for 5 in the game with 3 strikeouts. He talked about his performance after the game. Let's take a listen.
Thought I had a double, and the guy goes, keep going. I was like, all right, I'll take it. So felt good, though. All of my sports experiences helped me for moments like that. First at bat in a pro baseball game, right? I mean, playing in the swamp or Death Valley or, in, Mile High Stadium or in the playoffs, all those, they all help because I think so much about sports is handling moments and handling pressure. I know that so many people want to sensationalize it, but for me, it's just one day. It's just, one opportunity, the first of a lot of games. And tomorrow will be another opportunity to wake up, get work, and try to get better.
You okay?
Okay.
Huh?
Oh, my
You eat
goodness.
some bad fish this morning?
Yeah. Ooh.
Isn't he lovely, Shannon?
Ugh.
Skip, how impressed were you with Tebow's performance?
Who, me? Impressed? I don't know. I was like Tim. It's sort of ho-hum, right? It's.
You heard what he said, Skip. He said some people will want to sensationalize this.
Oh.
He was talking about you.
Well, I'm not. I was like mildly impressed, but I was completely unsurprised. It's Tim Tebow, for heaven's sake. It's who he is. It's what he does. The bigger the stage, the bigger the moment, the bigger the play he's always made. He's done this his entire career. See all those fourth quarters for the Florida Gators. See the second half and fourth quarter against my Oklahoma Sooners in the national championship game. Remember that one? See that whole season in 2011 for the Denver Broncos, fourth quarter after big moment, after key play. He had the number one QBR in the last 5 minutes of the entire NFL for that whole season that year. Do you remember the late escape for a touchdown against the New York Jets on Thursday Night Football? Do you remember this play?
What? You got video?
I want to see it just for old
You
time's
done saw it
sake.
1,000
Here it is.
times.
Wait, look. Oh, this is it. The game's on the line.
looking.
He's loose. He scored. Tim Tebow just scored and beat the Jets on Thursday Night Football. How did he do this, Shannon Sharpe? How did he do that?
Skip, stop.
He's an athlete. Tim Tebow. And then, of course, who can forget what happened in the play? Wait, he got his
There
team
better
in the
not be
playoffs?
video.
Wait, can we
There
see
better
what
not be
happened
video.
in the playoffs that year? The overtime to Damaris. Wait a second.
Oh, my God.
Wait.
Skip.
He's open. He caught it. He's loose. This is overtime. This is for the game. This is a playoff game at Mile High where Shannon Sharpe once roamed. And it's over. The game is over. He just beat Big Ben Roethlisberger in a playoff game. So why should we be surprised at what he would do in his first ever real professional at-bat as a real live professional baseball player? He's up against a tough left-hander who went 8-3 at this level a year ago with a 3.93 ERA, under 4.
What round was he drafted in?
22nd, but he's good. He went 8-3 last year.
He good.
Huh?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's pretty good. He's a left-hander against Tim Tebow's bat's left-handed. Do you realize that? So it's not that easy. Lefty to lefty, and he's down 2 strikes, and he goes with the pitch. Boom! Gone. Wow, first at bat, home run. Now, he probably set the bar a little too high on opening night because then he tops the next ball to the shortstop and couldn't beat it out. And then the next 3 times, he gets 2 bad strike 3 calls from the umpire who clearly
Okay, LaVar Ball.
didn't like
Okay, LaVar Ball.
like Tim Tebow.
You see what
He's
he
not
did,
my
Joy?
son.
Joy, you see what he
He's
did?
not
Joy?
my son.
Joy.
Son?
He's not my son. He got 2 bad calls. Check out the video. He got 2 terrible strike
You see
3
what you
calls.
did, Skip Bayless?
I didn't do anything.
You
I
did.
told the truth.
No, you didn't
about
tell the
Tim Tebow.
Hold on, wait a minute. April 7th today. April 6th was yesterday. Was this the World Series? Game 7, bottom of the 9th.
I thought you were going to say
Down by
April,
2.
April Fools or something.
Yeah.
2 out, 2 on.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's at the plate against Mariano Rivera. Is that what happened?
No.
First at bat.
Come on.
Skip, you keep talking about the big stage. This is not the Sydney Opera House. This is not the
You know
Apollo.
what? I think the whole world was watching
This
last
was the
night.
one- this-
It exploded on Twitter. It just went to the #1 U.S. trend like that.
This is the kids play at the local YMCA. That's the
Yeah,
stage.
you know what?
The Fireflies.
USA Today doesn't send a reporter to cover that kid at the YMCA. And they had a reporter there last night who wrote 3 stories for USA Today.
The Fireflies.
Wow.
Skip, the Fireflies, the Sand Gnats, the Savannah Bananas.
You got to
the
start
Skeeter
at the
Hawks.
bottom. He's going to climb his way up the ladder the way he should have to. He's going to have to earn each rung
Okay,
of
well,
the ladder.
help me understand this, Skip.
Yeah.
He hit 194 in the fall league.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, you know what? That's good enough to bring you to spring training.
Time out.
No, I want you to talk right now. I'm going to let you talk in a minute. He goes to spring training. He bats 148.
Mm-hmm.
They say, you know what? We think if we give you more opportunity, you can be good. At what point in time do people say, you know what, Tim? Your run is up. When do they say this? And when does Skip Bayless stop making excuses, talking about, oh, he got 2 bad third strike calls?
He did. They were
Skip,
terrible
don't do
calls.
that.
Even Tim Tebow, the gentleman that he is, he stood at home plate looking at the ump like, seriously?
Did you see him running?
I thought he was in danger of getting ejected.
Did you see him?
Did I see what? Go ahead.
Did you see him run to first base?
Yeah.
Stiffer than a fence post.
Yeah. Did you? We were there the day. Joy and I were there when he timed in the 40, and he ran faster than Shannon Sharpe could run.
What was he? I was like, is this Tim Tebow or is this Frankenstein?
He ran a faster 40 than Derek Jeter ran or Alex Rodriguez ran. I'd say it's okay. I'm not saying he's blazing fast.
I probably.
Did you see him against the Jets? Wait a second. Can we see that video one more time? The
No,
Jets play.
Healy, don't do it. Healy, don't do it.
Wait.
Healy!
No, I don't want. Yes, wait, he's loose. How did he get loose? Slow-footed Tim Tebow.
Because he let contain.
You know
he's
what?
a left-handed quarterback, and you don't let it roll to his dominant
another
arm.
slow-footed white guy, right? Come on, that was
Skip,
pretty impressive.
Skip, we got to stop this. Here's a guy that's going to try every sport until he finds something he's good at. How about he's not good at anything?
Wait a minute. He took a 1-4 Broncos team on a run to. Wait, he went 7-4 the rest of the year, and then he won a home playoff game over Ben Roethlisberger. He won the division. How did he do that?
At one point, he was 7-1, and then lost his final 3 games.
Who won the division that year?
They did. And
That's
then what
pretty great,
happened?
right?
And what happened?
Then what happened? They beat Ben Roethlisberger in a playoff game.
Okay, and then what happened?
They had to go to Foxborough.
Okay,
What happens
and
to
then what
anybody who goes to Foxborough?
And then what happened?
Huh?
And then what happened?
He got blown out like everybody does.
No,
at
everybody
Foxborough,
don't get blown out.
except for the Ravens.
Yeah, exactly. So that don't mean anything.
Well, hey,
Skip.
that's their
Skip, look.
nemesis.
Skip. Can we?
No, we can't.
When are we gonna,
I
when are we
didn't
gonna
do this. You blame me for wanting to do the topic. I didn't hit the home run last night. In his first professional at-bat, he hit a home run.
Okay. So
Who does that?
So are we gonna gloss, because there have been a lot of guys that hit home runs in their first at bat in the majors.
Not a lot, but there have been a few. There have been a few.
A lot.
What, like 90? Come on, stop it.
Skip. He's playing with the skeeters. Okay, the fireflies.
The fireflies.
It's close enough. Insect.
Yeah, but think of the moment. It's the first day of the Masters played at Augusta National, and now you're up against Augusta's minor league team. And what do? You upstage the Masters. Wow. How do you do that?
Because Jordan Spieth, quad bogey.
He did.
The number 1 player in the world, pulled out of the tournament. So now that's how you do it.
Yeah. So by the time he swung the bat in his first at bat, nobody was talking about Charlie Hoffman in the Masters.
Okay, well,
and Charlie Hoffman played one of the all-time great Masters rounds yesterday in the wind. Who cares?
The first round.
It was Tim Tebow's night.
If he shoots 65 in the final round and they win,
You're right.
we'll be talking about. But Skip, you need to stop this now.
I didn't even start it. He started it. Tim Tebow.
But what you do, you inflated the home run, but you suppressed and talking about he got 2 bad thirds.
He did. He got terrible calls. He stood there looking at the umpire like, seriously?
Skip Ball.
And you know what? Skip Ball.
Yeah. Skip Tebow.
No, call me LaVar Bayless. Right?
Yeah.
So here's your point that you're missing about the Arizona Fall League. In his last 11 games, after he got his feet underneath him and calmed down a little bit, he gets overhyped, over anxious.
Why?
Because
he's been on the
this is all
biggest
new.
stage.
He hasn't played baseball for 11 years, and all of a sudden in the Arizona Fall League, as Joy can attest, it's filled with kids who are one step away from the big leagues. So you're going up against blazing fastballs and hooks you haven't seen before.
Hold on. Skip.
Wait, no, hold on. Okay. I'm talking. It's my turn.
Your turn. Go ahead.
So in his last 11 games in the Arizona Fall League, he hit 281 with an on-base of 425 because he's starting to turn into Jason Giambi in on-base percentage, where he's got the great eye at home plate. He would rather take the walk than strike out. So he's trying to take the walk, and the umpire last night, obviously not a Tebow fan, a Shannon fan.
Skip.
He probably watches
Joy,
Shannon.
Will you tell
Hey, a lot of people don't like Tim Tebow, and clearly the umpire didn't because those balls were both outside and low.
LaVar Bayless, will you please stop?
Yeah.
Now, Tim Tebow said.
He hit a home run.
Hold on. He said, playing in the swamp, play it in Death Valley, play it in Mile High, prepare them for this moment.
Yeah.
Now you talking about, oh, it's the big stage and it's his first time. He's been preparing for this moment his whole life.
That's what I said. That's why I'm only like mildly impressed, because I'm not surprised.
Okay, you talk about the first at-bat, but how many at-bats did he have?
He had 5.
Okay, so what was his average on the day if you combine that home run?
You have to give him time to calm down and start to do what he did in the Arizona Fall League, and also start to do against big league pitching as spring training wore on and some of the attention faded a little bit.
So
he's going to be there
if
all summer long.
Okay, so you say over the final 11 games, he batted .281. That raised his average to .194.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay, you said
Against kids who are on the doorstep of the big leagues, and you haven't played for what was it, 11 years? Really?
in spring training, he's like he got hot once it calmed down. So however it got hot he got, it raised his average to 148. What did he do to that, Skip?
Who would dare to go up against Max Scherzer after being out of baseball since you were a junior in high school and you're 29
I
years
can do
old?
what he did.
Who would dare?
I've never swung in a batter's box at live pitching. But I could do that. I can do exactly what Tebow did.
You know what? You wouldn't do it because you would fear you would get humiliated. So you'd say, I don't want any part of that.
Why? I'm going to look worse than Tebow?
Well, but you wouldn't even
37
dare to
seconds.
do it.
I'm going to take my time. I'm going to last longer than 37 seconds.
Oh, okay. Well, that's impressive. Would you go to...
I'll fire one off. I'm going to fire one pitch off.
Would you go to your brother's hometown of Columbia, South Carolina, where he lives now, and play for the Fireflies all summer?
No.
Would you subject yourself to that kind of scrutiny and potential humiliation? No, you would
Because
not.
I was an elite athlete in one level, at one particular sport.
Yeah, so was he. Wait, how many Heismans did you win? Help me out.
There are a lot of guys.
She just...
Andre Ware won the Heisman. How many Heisman Trophy quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame?
No, you didn't answer my question.
I didn't win any.
You didn't win a Heisman Trophy. Guess what?
I had a 14-year career, though. 14 years.
Oh, my God.
14.
Is Joy okay? I think she's okay.
Skip, don't do that. I'm trying to drink my water.
Okay, Johnny Manziel won the Heisman recently. Where is he at?
He's got drug and alcohol
Okay, Andre
problems.
Ware won the Heisman. Where is he at?
I don't know.
Cal.
I think he still works for ESPN.
Okay, what about Eric Crouch? Where is he at?
He's coaching somewhere.
Hold up. The Heisman Trophy don't guarantee you going to play in the NFL?
Well, I'm just saying, you said you were an elite athlete. He did win the Heisman Trophy.
In college.
And he won 2 national
In
championships
college.
in college.
No, he won 1.
He won
Leak. He was on the team. Leak was the starting quarterback. Don't diminish that man.
I don't. He was the starting quarterback, was that guy. But the contributor who came in on a lot of key third downs or goal line plays happened to be the freshman named Tim Tebow. Remember those jump passes?
But don't be talking about talking about he won 2 Super
Did he not contribute? Did he not letter, so to speak? Did he not?
Skip. Everybody gets a letter. Everybody gets a letter. Now stop it.
I'm not going to stop it.
So hold on. So let me ask you a question.
Wait a second.
Hold on. No.
Let me ask you a question.
No, I want to ask this question. So are you saying because Tim Tebow won the Heisman, he was a better football player than me?
Yeah, because he played quarterback. It's a much harder position.
I need some. Hey, Snoop. I need something to take the edge.
Wait a second. Could Shannon Sharpe, would he have the potential in his first year as a starter, especially at quarterback, to take over a team that was 1-4, dead in the water in the AFC West, and take them on a 7-4 run to the division championship with fourth quarter after late fourth quarter miracle that he pulled out of his hat, and then win a home playoff game as a first-year starter? It's hard, man. This league is hard. You know how hard it is. And I don't know how you were as a first-year starter, but I don't think you had that kind of impact.
How about this, Skip? You keep talking about Tim Tebow. This is what I don't understand. He wants to get to the majors, and he's willing to go down to play for the Fireflies or the Bananas or the Skeeter Hawks, but he wasn't willing to go to Canada to hone his craft to play in the NFL. Why is this?
I don't know. You'd have to ask him. I've never asked him that question.
Oh, you know. All I'm saying is, look.
I know. I can guess why. I've never asked him that question because he indicated when we were at USC for his baseball, what do you call it? Showcase, audition, whatever you want to call it. He indicated to me when we interviewed him that he still has some, I don't know if he said bitterness, but he's still hurt by the fact the NFL just rejected him after he went on that run for an entire season in Denver and won a playoff game, and then he never got a shot again.
You got to update your resume. You do not get
He never got a chance to win another job. Never got a chance.
Skip, the guy that drafted him first overall, I mean, not first overall, but drafted him in the first round, was the offensive coordinator in New England. He went to Chip Kelly, the offense that's tailor-made for his skill set.
Just remember, his confidence got wrecked by the Jets because Rex promised him he'd get a chance to win the job.
Promises are like pie crust.
Okay, well, it was in that case.
Thin and easily broken.
Okay, well, that one was easily
broken. Hold up. Tim Tebow, confidence shaken? Tim Tebow, the guy that won the Heisman Trophy.
I've said it many times. He went to not one or two. He went to 3 different quarterback gurus, including my friend Tom House at USC. And they tried to fix him, and he was overthinking everything because he could throw it in college. Remember that last game? We talked about it the other day. Remember the Sugar Bowl he played?
A lot of guys could throw it in college. Okay. A lot of guys. I've seen. Do you know how many Heisman Trophy winners, Butkus Award winners, Thorpe winners, Lombardi winners, Outland trophies, and old Shannon Sharpe from Savannah State singing the song, Elton John, I'm still standing. I was still standing.
You really think that you could foul tip off of Scherzer?
Look here. I came from a town of 3,500 with 2 traffic lights. And went all the way with stops at Savannah State, Denver, Baltimore, back there, and I ended up at 2121 Hallis Drive. Now, how many Heisman Trophy winners have there?
It's impressive.
Jerry Berwanger won the first Heisman Trophy in 1936. There are 8 of Shannon Sharpes in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I will take me over him.
Okay. Well,
LaVar Bayless.
You can delude yourself all you want.
I promise you would get naked trying to swing on that.
That's crazy. I would look worse than Tim Tebow.
Helmet would be flying off.
I would look worse than Tim Tebow.
Belt.
I would look worse than Tim Tebow.
Oh, yes, you would.
Yes. We can set this up.
Tim Tebow looks the part.
I think we can set
He
this
don't
up.
look no part.
Yes, he does. You know he does.
Look like Frankenstein riding first base.
Congratulations, Tim. I thought it was wonderful.
No mercy.
Russell Westbrook needs one more triple-double to set the single-season record. Westbrook and the Thunder are on the road tonight against the Suns. On Phoenix's side, guard Devin Booker scored 70 points in a game back in March, and his coach Earl Watson says Booker reminds him a lot of James Harden. Joined by Jim Jackson. Jim, what do you expect tonight?
Well, if history repeats itself, the last 3 games, Russell 41, 13, and 13. I mean, he's on a mission to do something. I think as the season went on, it began to snowball a lot more. He began to look at it as an opportunity to set himself as a part of history. I don't see any reason why going in tonight against the Suns on the road with this hanging out with 1 game that he doesn't have an opportunity to close this down. Now, I was fortunate to be in Phoenix and had a chance, because I know Oscar Robertson really well, and talked to him about this, about what he really felt. And he was happy that somebody was able to do it, but it was different because when he played, there were certain ways they counted assists and certain ways they didn't. And he made sure to point that out, that if you took an extra dribble, you passed it up the court, it wasn't assist. Now, keep in mind, too, in that 61-62 series when he played, there's only 9 teams. And they played each other like 12 times. So if you dominated a team, and that's not taking anything away from what Oscar did at the time, it's just that the differences of what Russ is doing in today's world with the number of teams and the travel compared to Oscar's back in the day is slightly different. But I see Russell going off if his guys can make shots. That's the important part.
Yeah, you mentioned the 41, 13, and 13. Phoenix is allowing 113 points a game, which is the worst in the NBA. But this is a chance for Devin Booker because there's going to be a lot of eyes watching to see if Russell can get this historical moment, get 42 triple-doubles in a season to break Oscar Robertson's record. Devin Booker is on pace for the 5th highest scoring average by a player 20 years old at the time. Here's the 4 guys ahead of him. LeBron James, you heard of him? Kevin Durant, Shaq, and Unc Drew.
Who was that first guy?
LeBron James.
LeBron James.
LeBron, and he did at 18. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about it. And this is an opportunity because he knows some people will tune in just to see Russell break this record, but it's also an opportunity for him to put his talent on display. Because I don't care what anybody said. Well, they lost the game. You get 70 points, Jack, you already know. He got 70 in a ball game. Now, everybody, I got a guy that sits across from me every day. He want to poo-poo this man's 70-point game.
I
but
did not. Where did you get that from?
Can I talk to Jack?
No, you can't because you
I'm talking to Jack. You didn't even heard what I said.
you can't lie to Jack. You can talk to him.
Okay.
You can't lie.
But Jack, he had on pom-poms for Michael Jordan 63-point double overtime.
Anyone else call you Jack besides Shannon?
That's my man. My high school friends, they call me Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, they call
so
me
you're
Jack.
a high school friend.
Yeah.
But you know, yeah,
We go back. We go back.
Me and Jack go back like car seats. Skip.
Yeah.
Just like this. And I'm still upset. You know what, Skip? I'm still upset.
You are not going to get over this unless you want to argue that it's better than Jordan's 63 against Boston. If you do, let's do it right now.
Nope. All I'm saying is I'm still upset with the 2015 Kentucky team that lost to Wisconsin with 4 lottery picks.
I'm not.
Oh, you picked them?
No, because Wisconsin, my son played for Wisconsin.
Oh,
I ain't mad at all. So I ain't.
Bingo.
I'm not mad at all.
Bingo. Thank you. So just so you get this.
Okay.
On the last show I was on, the old show,
Yes.
I did nothing but defend Devin Booker because everybody else on that show thought he couldn't play in the NBA. And I'm not exaggerating that because he couldn't start a game for a team that had Karl Anthony Towns, Willie Cauley-Stein,
Trey Lyles.
Tyler Ulis, and the Harrison twins, and he didn't start for him. And I said, you want to talk about a sweet shot? And I said, at least I would take him in the lottery, and he did go late in the lottery.
Yep.
And was that not a great pick?
Yes.
Because he's got all kinds of skills, and his assist skills are just starting to come to fruition here. Because his coach, as you just pointed out, said, hey, we could be looking at James Harden here. And just over the last few weeks, he's had 3 9-assist games because he's only averaging 3 assists for the whole year. So he has capability of doing that. Now, his scoring goes wildly up and down because he's only averaging 22, and he had a 70, he had a couple 39-point games. And yet he's had some single-digit games and a couple of 10-point games, so it's dropped his average way down. But what's going to happen tonight, I think, is that Russell Westbrook will make history and Devin Booker will make a splash,
Yes.
a national splash, because I'm watching. I'm all over this game. I can't wait for this. And I don't watch enough of Phoenix because I don't have enough reason to watch Phoenix.
What time does this game come on?
Tonight, it's
Because, you know, LeBron
10
playing the
o'clock
Hawks tonight,
Eastern
too.
time. 10
LeBron playing the Hawks tonight
Who
in
cares
Cleveland.
about that?
Whoa.
You get a rest? I
No.
think it's gonna sit.
We on a mission. We integrating
We on a
everybody.
mission. Okay,
Everybody's
got it.
getting integrated. Kevin
Yep.
Love's getting his legs back and all this. But
Yeah.
this dude, Booker.
Hey.
But you know what this means,
is
though?
His time. I want to see him get his first triple-double.
But you know what this means? They're going to probably have to move Bledsoe.
Well-
Because his skills, you're starting to see the real Trevor Booker, Booker,
Devin.
with Devin Booker without Bledsoe.
Yeah, but here's the thing, too. Depending on what happens in the draft, in regards to their percentages of getting number 1 pick, number 2 pick, whether it's Ball, whether it's Fultz. But the thing about Devin is that if you look at the way he's trending, 13 points last year, 21 this year, the ability to shoot the basketball. But it's a big difference between being a superstar and a star.
Right.
There's a lot of stars in the league.
Yes.
Okay, it's a lot of stars. Gordon Hayward is a star. You know, to me, DeMarcus Cousins is a star. John Wall's a star. But a superstar is one that you'll mark on that calendar and say, I want to go see them play. I want to spend my money to go see him play. And it's tougher in Phoenix at times. Does he have the ability? We're seeing that. But let's give him a few years to see the consistency. But what he's shown over the last 4 games, 36 points, 6.8 assists, that the ability that he can be projected on that level. But that has to be done over time.
Yeah.
He can shoot
But
the ball.
it's a big stage, and I've been there before. It's a big stage for him tonight to kind of show the world
It is.
exactly what he could do.
2 things I love about Devin Booker, and we'll finish up here, but his father played in the NBA, so his bloodlines are good because Melvin played briefly in the NBA for 3 different teams. And then in the big picture, I love what Eddie House said yesterday. He didn't say it on camera, but we had him on the show as our analyst yesterday. And he goes to a lot of Suns games, and he said he's just watching from the front row seats. And he said this kid, Devin, has a lot of dog in him in that you talk stuff to him, he will talk it back to you. So he takes nothing off nobody. And a guy whose attitude I always loved, Eddie House's, he thinks he's got that kind of I'll show you attitude.
He can get buckets from the 3. He can mid-range. He can get to the basket. He has it all. And he came off the bench. The guy got 70, and he was coming off the bench.
Well, we'll be paying attention to Devin Booker, and we could be seeing him
Get him,
tonight.
Book!
And I don't want to prematurely give you credit, Skip, but you did say he was going to average a triple-double this season.
I did.
He only needs 6 more assists to clinch averaging a triple-double, so imagine
I
he'll
don't
do
think
that
you
tonight.
can jinx that one. I think he's going to do it.
Yeah, I agree. No mercy. Kevin Durant is expected to make his return tomorrow against the Pelicans, as long as he doesn't have any setbacks at practice today. Durant has missed the last 19 games after suffering an MCL sprain in February. The Warriors are currently on a 13-game winning streak without KD. Shannon, will Durant's return help or hurt the Warriors?
Well, it's hard for me to believe that a former MVP, All-NBA player can hurt a team that's won 13 games. With Kevin Durant, the ceiling is the roof. Oh, either Michael was drinking when he said it, or I need to be drinking to understand
Wait,
what he
are
said.
you taking shots at Michael Jordan?
No, Skip. I just think that Skip, what did I say? No KD, no jewelry.
You said that?
I said
I
that.
thought Rob Parker said
No.
that.
It sounds like Rob
No
Parker's
Gronk,
statements.
no hardware. Skip, the thing is with him is that if Clay and Steph struggles, you know KD can go get 30 or 40 if he needs to.
Yep.
They're even better defensively when he's on the dude is 6'11", 7 feet tall, 7'6" wingspan.
I agree.
He blocks more shots. He's became more defensive oriented since he's gotten to Golden State. So now you pair him with Draymond, they even have a better defense. Now, let's take Tom Brady. The Patriots were 3-1 without Tom Brady. Nobody worried about how they was going to be once he got back because now they took off and went to another level. Now, I will agree, in this 13-game winning streak, there have been spurts that Golden State has looked better without KD than they did with KD. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think Steve Kerr, they're doing it right. The medical staff has said, hey, he's ready to go. 3 games to play, get his conditioning, because that's the hardest thing to do, Skip. When you miss time in the regular season, I've been injured and missed time, all that treadmill, all that swimming, jogging underwater and on the elliptical, that's fine and good. But it's nothing like when you're getting out there running up and down that court, and for me, running up and down the football field. So it will give him a chance to get his legs back under him. It'll give him a chance to get his conditioning back under him. And it'll also give them 3 games to play with him to get him reintegrated back into the system. Skip, I'm telling you, hey, you see Steph Curry, he getting real cocky now. He smiling, he kid, and dribbling the ball behind his back.
Behind the back and laughing about it.
Yeah.
Over his mouth.
And now Clay is going nuclear because every 3 he puts up is going in. So they're going to be a tough out, but you know, the king of Akron, you know what he been doing. You already know. You already know.
Is that all you got to
That's
say?
all hey, KD, get ready, get healthy, because I don't want no excuses come June. Do you, Skip Bayless?
You know what?
What?
Unfortunately, I agree with every point you just made, except for your conclusion. And I should be disqualified from speaking about this because I readily admit up front I'm speaking straight from the heart and not from the head.
Why would you ever disqualify yourself on anything Tebow or Cowboys?
Well, this is Spurs.
Yeah, exactly, but you want to disqualify yourself for this.
Well, I'm trying to be objective because it's an interesting question, help or hurt, but I believe he will hurt them in the long haul because I just watched this team win 13 straight games with no Kevin Durant, and I watched Steph Curry turn back into MVP Steph Curry, and he was keying all over the place, but he was backing it up.
He's Chef Steph again.
He was that guy. Over these last 13 games, he has shot 47% from the three-point line. Wow. That is unbeatably invincible. That's like
you're not beating
that's
them when they shoot like that.
You can't stop that. You can't defeat that. So all I know is that Steph played 59 games with Kevin Durant, and I did admire Steph in this regard. I thought he did sacrifice his game to a certain extent for Kevin to get him comfortable, to get him into the flow. I thought Clay sacrificed a little bit himself. Not greatly. You can't even look at the stats and figure it out.
Because they're still shooting about the same amount of shots per game.
About the same. Over the 59 games, Steph was 40% from 3, so he's gone up to 47% over the last 13 that they've won. But I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to reiterate. They had 9 bad losses trying to figure it out with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a force in this league, obviously. It's not news to anybody.
Right.
But He's not a takeover force. He's not a closer of a force. So you have to figure out how to integrate him into the flow of the game. Who is that? What's his name?
No, alert.
What's his name?
Bucket.
Bucket. I couldn't think of Bucket. But you have to figure out where Kevin fits in the pecking order in the fourth quarter. And they couldn't quite figure it out.
Right.
And I'm just going to run through these games quickly. Obviously, they lost on opening night. I'm going to throw this out to my Spurs by 29 with Kevin. That was the first night out. Who knows? Then they go to the Lakers and they lose by 20. That's pretty shocking to me. And then December 1st, they lose at home in double OT to Houston. That was sort of the emergence of James Harden in the new Houston under D'Antoni.
Correct.
And then they go to Memphis and they lose by 21 on December 10th. They're still trying to figure it out. December 25th, it cost me a case because they're up 14 in the fourth quarter and they can't figure out how to get that home at Cleveland. They just can't figure it out, and Kyrie got it home.
The King!
No, the King didn't get it home. The closer, the Cavaliers, got it home. January 6th, they blow a 24-point home lead to Memphis again, and they lose not by 1 in overtime, they lose by 9 in overtime. That's pretty ugly to me. Then January 23rd, the Heat were just starting to become, they were getting heated up a little bit, but they lost at the Heat. And then they lost at Sacramento on February 4th. And then they lost by 32 at Denver when Denver went completely unconscious nuts from the three-point line, okay? But those, I just gave you 9 big losses. We say, it made you stop and say, really? You sure about this? So, look, to me, they were looking better the last 13 games than they even looked last year when they won a record 73 games. And obviously, I'm still stinging from what happened in San Antonio a week ago when my Spurs get up, 29-7, 15-0, then 29-7, and they lose the rest of the game 103-69. It was a wipeout. It was a statement made by Steph and Clay and company, and they're getting David West involved and Iguodala involved. They looked even better than they looked last year. And it rocked me, man, rocked me to my soul, because I said, I don't know if my team can beat that team when it matters in a 7-game series. And obviously, they're going to have home court in the 7-game series, even though my Spurs still have the best record on the road in the NBA. But the point is, I only got one hope now, that they can't figure out Kevin Durant quickly enough as they go through the playoffs. Will he ever get quite right? Will he be a little limpy on his knee? Will it be a little tender? I don't know. I'm not wishing that on him. I'm just saying it could be.
If I'm KD, I go to Steve Kerr and I go to the team and say, "Do you? I'll figure this out. I'll get my way back into this thing."
I would say that also.
Do not try to do anything to try to get me involved. I can figure this out. I'm a former MVP. I'm a 27, 28-point-a-game scorer. I know that. I can get my shot. Yeah. Because there's going to be a time they're going to need Kevin Durant. Now, Steph is playing unbelievable. He has his swagger back. He's laughing. He's had a good time. He's having a great time. You're mentioning he's shooting 47% from 3. Well, if he's shooting 47, Clay's got to be at 60 because everything it's not even touching the rim. I mean, as soon as the ball touches hands, it's up and it's through. So you're going to have your hands full, and you keep talking about the Spurs are great on the road. Well, all they need to do is just win. They got a whole sort of home, San Antonio. Because if you're not careful, Golden State has the confidence now, Skip, because when you're in someone else's building and you're down 22 points and you come back and you beat them by 14, you're like, you know what?
I completely agree.
We got them.
That is psychological edge.
Yes.
That is, we got you.
That was the most. That's the most impressive win of all the teams that's won some games.
I agree.
That's the most impressive thing that I've seen this year.
Yeah. Because you don't have Kevin Durant, and you spot that team, your chief rival, 22 in their building, when they're playing at a high level.
Spot the King that. Spot the King and Unk that and see what happens.
And Unk?
Unk.
Put them in the right order. Unk and King. No. Spot Unk and King there.
And you know what happens, Skip? Look like the Celtics might have peaked too soon, huh?
Huh? They got left for dead the other night.
Yeah.
No, did you see what happened last night?
Yeah.
The Hawks?
Yeah.
Millsap? Schroeder?
So
peak.
You got it now?
They about to peak too soon, Skip.
Back to cakewalk?
Hey, when you got the King of Akron, and he's making all these pastries.
Everything's a cakewalk.
Yeah.
He makes cookies.
He does.
F and Clay about them cookies.
Yeah.
Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if Steve Kerr chooses to play his core players because they have 3 games remaining at home and they've already lost.
Hold on, we talking about resting?
Yes.
You better be right when the King comes. The King's coming.
He is?
He's coming.
No mercy. Bleacher Report came out with their list of the top 25 NFL players under the age of 25. They ranked Odell Beckham Jr. number
Tim Tebow
one.
wasn't on this list?
Oh, God. Followed by Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. Two other quarterbacks were in the top 8, Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston. Skip, do you agree with the rankings?
I do not. Number one, I am sorry. I'm going to tell you again. I'm going to educate you one last time.
If you say Skip Bayless, if you say what I think you're going to say, Skip Bayless.
What am I going to say?
I tell you, it better not be a guy with a star on the side of his helmet. He better not be number one.
Quarterbacks are far more valuable than wide receivers or receivers of any ilk, including tight ends who are in the Hall of Fame. It's a quarterback's league. It's a quarterback's game. And I'm sorry, Odell Beckham Jr. is not number one on my list. Number one on my list is the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys named Dak Prescott. Well, it's just obvious. I'm just telling the truth.
Skip, they didn't say value. They said best player.
He won 11 straight games as a rookie starting quarterback, and he threw 23 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions. And he led in QBR the whole way until the last meaningless game in which they all mailed it in Philadelphia, and that cost him the QBR championship. That guy with 6 rushing touchdowns on top of 23 touchdown passes. You're not saying he's the best player because he is to me. And by the way, you can say I'm homering this one, but Ezekiel Elliott is number 2 on my list because he is a special running back who can change games. So
have we ever seen a running back lead the league in rushing in his rookie season?
I don't know, but he did. Yeah.
The sniff.
How about George Rogers, Eric Dixon? You ever heard of any of these guys?
That's
But go ahead, Skip, go ahead.
I'm going on eye test, who impacts the game, who can take over and dominate.
So your eye test telling you that Ezekiel Elliott had a better rookie season than Eric Dickerson?
No, I won't go that far. Okay. But he had a great rookie season, and he's on a path to be better to me than Eric Dickerson. And I covered Eric Dickerson at SMU. So I'm sorry, he's got the potential to be better than Eric Dickerson. He does. If he can stay healthy, I'll give him a shot.
Go ahead and finish that.
Okay? Ooh. I will. I'll give him a shot. And then number 3 on my list is Jameis Winston, who got badly outplayed head-to-head. Remember when Jameis went up against Dak, and Dak went 32 of 36 that night, and Jameis threw 3 interceptions? I'll just take that one game to say I'm going to give Dak the edge at quarterback over Jameis Winston. And then I'll give you Odell at 4, and I'll take Joey Bosa just as a force off the edge at number 5. And those are my top 5.
For me, Skip, because we don't know how they ranked, how they came to this conclusion. So basically, they're saying the best players, not the most valuable player, not who plays the toughest position. I'm just thinking they're saying who's the best player under the age of 25 when the season starts. So I don't have a problem with 1 and 2 because I think Odell and what he's been able to do his first 3 years in the NFL, we haven't seen anybody do it. I don't have a problem with Dak being number 2. But the problem that I have is Dak being above Jameis. We have never seen a rookie quarterback go into a situation like Dak went into. He had 3 first-team All-Pro offensive linemen this year. Mm-hmm. His running back was a unanimous selection at All-Pro running back this year. He also was throwing the ball to a former All-Pro wide receiver and tight end. So no quarterback in the history of the NFL inherited a better situation his rookie year than what Dak Prescott had. Okay. So let me ask you this. If you flip positions, Dak and Jameis, could Dak do what in Tampa, what Jameis is doing? Could Jameis do in Dallas what Dak is doing?
In their rookie years, are you talking about, or just in general?
If you take Jameis Winston
as a rookie,
and
there's no way he could have measured up to this.
And give him 3 first-team All-Pro. Put him in Dallas his rookie year.
I got it.
You don't think he could have?
No, I'll tell you why. You have a 4-time Pro Bowler looking over your shoulder. It is extremely controversial whether you're going to keep the job from game to game as you continue to win 11 straight games. That would have crushed most young quarterbacks, and even Jameis, and I have the highest respect for him. I'm not sure he could have stood up under that kind of torturous scrutiny week after week after week. This kid is specially built, mentally and physically.
Did you see what Jameis did his redshirt freshman year? Did you see what he did? What did he do? National championship. needed a drive to get down, needed a touchdown. What did he do?
Okay.
So
I love Jameis, but I'll take Dak over Jameis.
Joey Bosa got to training camp late. Tweaked his hamstring early in training camp, missed the first 4 games, 10.5 sacks.
That'll work.
Led the tied for the league in tackle for losses.
Love him.
Marcus Peters has more interceptions in his first 2 years than any player. I mean, since he's gotten to the league, he has more interceptions than anybody. Big game player. Jadeveon Clowney. Now we're starting to see why the Houston Texans
No,
took
but
him.
I haven't seen enough. I didn't see it until the end of last year.
Mike Evans. So now we come to realize that it was more Mike Evans than Johnny Manziel. It should be the
I don't know about that. I'm not sure about
All I know is Mike Evans is going to the Pro Bowl and Johnny Manziel is hoping to find a team.
that. Okay, and I told you again, Manziel has drug and alcohol problems. Go ahead.
LT had those. He did okay. So guys can play. If you can play, you can play.
Oh, okay.
You know that, Skip. Stop doing that, Skip.
I don't know
Do.
that. No.
My only issue is that they have Dak higher than Jameis for the simple fact Dak is in a better situation than Jameis. Skip, you know that. I mean, the guy has a unanimous selection as all-pro running back. 3 first-team all-pro linemen.
Is it harder to play Dallas Cowboy quarterback or Tampa Bay Buccaneer quarterback?
It's easy to play Dallas Cowboy because it's easy because you know what? Guess what, Skip? When you come to the line of scrimmage on second down, it's 2nd and 4 because Dak getting you 5.5, 6 yards on first down. He led the NFL in yards per attempt on first down. 5.5. So every time it's second, and you hand the ball to Zeke on first down, on second down, it's 4.5 to 4 yards or less.
I thought Tampa's defense last year was better than Dallas's. That's what Dak had to put
What
up with.
What does the stat say? You said the stat. You said, what does the stat say?
Okay, but because the offense could control the ball, it kept the defense off the field much of the game because they were number 1 in time possession much of the year, and then they were top 3 at the end of the year. So the point is that you're asking a young quarterback to make quick decision after decision after decision, and if you screw up one time, you're going to put your defense in the wrong situation, and he threw 4 total interceptions. That is hard to do. Jameis threw 18 interceptions last year, and I forget what he did the first year, but he's been high interception.
We've seen guys come in as rookies and do what Dak Prescott did. Ben Roethlisberger. He went to the AFC Championship game and lost a big. Hold on, no.
But is this a discussion of Dak or Ben? Who's
No,
better? Is that what we're doing?
No. I'm just saying you're putting all this, and I'm not saying Dak didn't have a great rookie season because he did. But you look at that situation. Look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson won a playoff game.
Oh, he's
He
great.
had a rookie year.
Yeah.
Who had a better situation?
Okay, so he had a really good one there.
Yes.
Because when you play with that defense, you can just sort of keep it between the
and
lines.
what else did he have?
And by the way,
Beast
Ben,
mode.
you don't think Ben could lean on his defense that first year?
What about the offense? He had Willie Parker. He had Jerome Bettis, who was aging at the time.
But
Look at that offensive line. You got 3 of the 5 best offensive linemen that's playing, and they're on your roster. You got a top running back. So the writer said, the 50 Sports writer said, you got one of the 2 best running backs in NFL. You have a former All-Pro, tight end and wide receiver. Give Jameis that.
Hey.
We're going to see. Jameis got D-Jack now. He got Michael Evans now. He got a little help. We're going to see. We're going to see.
So you think Jameis is going to be better long-term than Dak Prescott?
That wasn't the question.
Oh.
It was, do I agree with the rankings? And I said no.
Well, we've seen what Jameis is doing before, too. He's 2nd most passing yards the first 2 seasons behind Andrew Luck, so Andrew Luck did it.
Did what?
Has more passing yards for his first 2 seasons.
He ain't win
You
nothing.
said Ben did it
No,
before.
I'm saying as far as winning. Because Skip, that's what Skip bases on. It's so hard. Skip, without us knowing the qualifications of how they got to this, why they're ranking, I'm just taking it. They're saying if you're under the age of 25, by the time the season starts, this is what we think. Ask yourself this question. Is Dak Prescott a better quarterback than Odell Beckham is a wide receiver?
It doesn't matter because quarterback is so much more valuable than wide
But they're
receiver.
not ranking it on value. They're saying the best player.
What's your definition? How do you know what their definition is? They
I-
said just top 25, under 25.
Well, I'm using my criteria. You use your criteria.
Okay.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everyone. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. That's it for us today. We're back next week for more debates. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys are all celebrating a little Dance Party Friday wherever you are. Also, I wrote an article on FoxSports.com about Russell Westbrook's season, which is up right now. Go check it out and let me know what you guys think. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Fox Sports, one of one.